Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take, a whole stack of source material articles, research notes, and really boil it down to the essentials, the fascinating bits you need to know. Today, we're diving deep into Panama. It's a country that, well, often gets boiled down to just its canal, doesn't it?
It really does. And that's a shame because it offers this incredible mix of hyper-modern city life, really deep history, and just raw, untouched nature. It's quite the package.
Absolutely. So our mission today is to get past that sort of postcard image of the canal, though we'll definitely dig into that engineering marvel.
Oh, for sure. We have to.
But we want to extract the key knowledge points, the things that really define Panama as this dynamic nation, give you, the listener, the full picture, contradictions and all.
Exactly. It's this amazing intersection of worlds.
Yeah.
And understanding that starts, I think, with the geography.
Okay, yeah, let's start there. Because Panama's location, it isn't just important, it's defining. It's this incredibly narrow land bridge, right?
Yeah.
Connecting North and South America.
And separating the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, or maybe more accurately, linking them. It's the crucial connection point.
Right. If you just look at a map, it's more than just land. It's like a vital artery for the whole planet, really.
Totally. And what's wild is just how narrow it is in places.
Yeah.
Sometimes only about 50 miles wide. That specific thinness, that geographic quirk, is exactly why it became the hotspot for global trade.
But it also creates some weird physical realities on the ground, doesn't it?
It does. Which leads us to that first kind of mind-bending fact that tells you so much about the country's orientation.
Ah, yes, the sunrise and sunset thing. Panama's the only place on Earth where you can theoretically see the sunrise over the Pacific.
And then see it set over the Atlantic on the same day.
How does that even work? I mean, geographically.
Well, it's because the country doesn't run straight east-west, like you might assume.
Yeah.
There's this big S-curve in the isthmus. So near Panama City, the Pacific coast actually faces east. When the sun comes up, boom, it's over the Pacific. Then in the evening, you look west towards the Caribbean Sea, which is, part of the Atlantic.
Right. It's counterintuitive.
Totally. And that specific orientation, that bend, it minimizes the distance needed to connect the oceans. That's the whole reason this spot has dominated trade history for, well, centuries.
So Panama isn't just a country, it's this global linchpin defined by being a conduit. Okay. But let's shift from the big picture to the immediate experience. You land at Tocumen International. What hits you first?
Yeah, stepping out of the airport. The sources describe it as a real sensory jolt. It often completely shatters expectations.
A jolt, I like that. What's the
Oh,
first thing beyond just seeing it?
It's physical. The
Yep.
humidity. Instantly. The sources call it a warm tropical hug. You just know you're in the tropics, no doubt about it.
Okay, that heavy air. And then sounds.
It's this really unusual mix. You've got the normal city buzz traffic, lots of construction noise, that hum of development.
Right, steel on steel.
Exactly. But layered right over that, you hear tropical bird song. It's filtering in from green spaces nearby, maybe the rainforest edges. It's quite a contrast.
It smells. What does Panama smell like on arrival?
It's subtle at first, this mix of tropical flowers, maybe that damp earth smell after rain. But then as you get closer to the center, or older parts, the street food aromas kick in.
Ah, okay. Like what?
Grilled plantains, that smoky sweetness,
Yeah.
and fresh ceviche, that sharp, tangy lime smell from little sidewalk stands. It's just alive, instantly immersive.
Okay, so you're feeling the heat, hearing the birds and construction, smelling the food. Now the visuals. This is where that aha moment comes in, right? The skyline shot.
Yeah, this is the big one. People expect maybe old colonial streets, Spanish architecture.
Right.
But what you see is this incredible shimmering skyline. Glass and steel skyscrapers everywhere. It genuinely rivals places like Miami or Singapore. It's startling.
Wow. So you expect history, jungle maybe, but you get this ultra-modern, forward-looking economic hub. How did that happen?
Well, it connects right back to the geography in the canal. That modernity isn't random. It's fueled by Panama being this major international banking and logistics center.
Because of its stability.
Oh, wow.
And using the dollar.
Exactly. Political neutrality helps too. But the dollarized economy is huge. It makes it incredibly attractive for foreign investment, for multinational HQs, those skyscrapers. They're basically the physical proof of Panama being the gateway for the Americas financially and logistically.
So the city itself is like a human-level conduit mirroring the canal. What's the vibe like? Is it just relentless big city energy?
It's definitely energetic, very cosmopolitan, Lots of hustle, especially in the business districts. The sources even mention people being impeccably dressed,
Yeah.
serious international business going on.
Okay.
But then you step into Casco Viejo, the historic part, and the pace just drops.
Yeah.
Immediately, it shifts completely.
We'll get to Casco Viejo. But first, that point about nature being close. That seems key to the Panama City experience, too.
It's maybe the most amazing juxtaposition. This towering modern city, but you have national parks, dense rainforest, practically touching the city limits.
Really? That close.
Yeah. You can genuinely go from a high-rise meeting to hiking a rainforest trail in like half an hour. It shows that even with all the economic drive, that natural biodiversity is still right there and valued.
And safety. Big city, international hub. What's the feeling on the ground for a visitor?
Generally, the sources say it feels quite safe, manageable, standard big city awareness, especially at night. But the overwhelming feedback is about the people. Panamanians are described as incredibly warm, welcoming, proud of their city.
That's good to hear. Makes it feel accessible.
Yeah, there's this vibe of genuine hospitality that kind of softens the edges of this powerful metropolis.
Okay, that sets the scene perfectly. A dynamic city on the hinge of the world. So, let's get practical. If you only have a few days, what are the absolute essentials? We've narrowed it down to 3 must-dos that really capture Panama's essence.
Yes, the defining trilogy. The engineering masterpiece, the colonial heart, and that raw indigenous nature.
Let's tackle the big one first. Everyone knows it, but we need the deep dive angle. The Panama Canal, specifically at the Miraflores locks.
Right. Acknowledging it's iconic is just step one. Seeing it in person gives you this perspective on the sheer scale, the precision, the historical weight of it all. You really can't grasp it otherwise.
And Miraflores Locks Visitor Center is the place to do that.
Yeah, it's just outside the city, very accessible. It's designed for viewing the spectacle.
Okay, let's break down the engineering challenge. Why locks? Why couldn't they just dig a trench straight through, sea level to sea level?
That's the crucial bit people miss.
Yeah.
The original French plan was for a sea-level canal. But the terrain, mountains, unpredictable rivers, it was just impossible, or at least impossibly difficult and deadly.
Right, the French attempt was tragic.
Horrifically so. The American solution, after they took over, was ingenious but different. Build up. Create a massive artificial lake, Gatun Lake, way above sea level.
So the ships have to get up to the lake.
Exactly. They have to be lifted about 26 meters, that's roughly 85 feet, above sea level to cross the Continental Divide. The locks are essentially giant water elevators that do that.
Water elevators. How do they actually work? What makes them so efficient, even today?
It's fundamentally about gravity and water displacement. Simple physics, really, on a colossal scale. At Miraflores, you watch these enormous lock chambers fill up or empty using water flowing from Gatun Lake.
No pumps.
Not for the main lifting and lowering, no. A ship enters a chamber, huge gates seal it off, and water flows in through culverts underneath, raising the water level and the ship until it matches the next level up, or flows out to lower it. It all relies on Gatun Lake acting as this massive rain-fed reservoir.
And standing there, what are you actually seeing?
You're watching these gigantic vessels, post-Panamax cargo ships, huge cruise liners, tankers being nudged through with literally inches to spare. Yeah, tiny electric trains called mules run on tracks alongside, guiding them, keeping them centered. It's mesmerizing watching this vital global logistics operation happen with almost clockwork precision.
Wow. Okay, the whole canal transit takes 8-10 hours. How long does the Miraflores part take?
You're seeing just one segment of the lifting or lowering process there. So for a single ship to pass through the Miraflores locks you're viewing, it takes maybe 15 to 30 minutes. It's a concentrated burst of action.
And best times to see ships?
Generally mornings, say 9 to 11 a.m. or later in the afternoon, maybe after 2 p.m. That's when most transits are scheduled through there.
You mentioned the tragic French attempt earlier. The history seems vital here.
Oh, absolutely. The museum at Miraflores doesn't shy away from it. The French, under de Lesseps of Suez fame, tried in the 1880s. They aimed for sea level and were just decimated by disease, yellow fever, malaria.
Terrible. How many workers died?
Estimates are staggering, maybe 20,000, even 25,000 lives lost. The American success after 1904 was only possible because they first tackled the disease, figured out the mosquito vector. That medical breakthrough was as crucial as the engineering.
And the canal isn't static, right? It's been updated.
Hugely. It's not just a century-old relic. The massive expansion, finished in 2016, was a game changer.
To fit the bigger ships.
Exactly. The Neo-Panamax vessels, the original locks, were about 33.5 meters wide. The new, Third set of locks are 49 liters wide. It essentially doubled the canal's capacity, allowing ships carrying way more cargo.
Okay, so the canal keeps evolving, fueling global trade, which loops right back to explaining that massive Panama City skyline we talked about.
Precisely. It's all connected.
Right, must-do number one, the canal. Understood. Now for the total opposite vibe, must-do number two, Casco Viejo, the historic district.
Yes, this is the essential counterpoint. A necessary dose of history, charm, a pause from the 21st century buzz. Casco Viejo, or Casco Antiguo, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and its very existence today is kind of a miracle of restoration.
Describe it for us. What does it feel like?
You step off the wide avenues of the modern city, and suddenly you're on these narrow, covered streets.
Okay.
You're surrounded by colorful colonial buildings, many with beautiful wrought iron balconies opening onto these lovely old plazas. The architecture is this fascinating blend. You see the Spanish colonial bones, but also a lot of French influence from when they were based there during their canal attempt.
You said it was a miracle of restoration. It wasn't always like that.
Oh no, for decades after the canal zone became the focus, Casco Viejo basically fell into ruin. It became neglected, impoverished, even dangerous.
Really?
Yeah. The revitalization effort only really kicked off seriously about 20 years ago. It's been this massive ongoing project, not just slapping paint on walls, but painstaking, expensive historical restoration. That's why it feels so cohesive and vibrant now.
And it has this dual personality, right? Day versus night.
Completely. During the day, it's perfect for just wandering slowly, browsing little artisan shops, maybe popping into historic churches like the Metropolitan Cathedral. Very relaxed.
And at night.
It totally transforms. It becomes the hub for Panama City's nightlife and culture.
What kind of stuff?
I think dozens of really good restaurants, cool little bars, live music spilling out onto the streets, and the rooftop bars there are famous.
Why? The views.
Incredible views. You're sitting in this historic setting, looking across the bay at that glittering modern skyline. It's this amazing visual conversation between old and new Panama, really dynamic.
And safety, given its past. Is it okay to wander at night?
Yeah, the restoration and the high number of visitors, plus a visible police presence, have made it feel very safe. The advice is pretty standard. Stick to the main, well-lit, restored streets. Maybe don't wander off into the darker, unrestored fringes late at night. But generally, it's a place where tourists and locals mix comfortably.
Okay, engineering marvel, check. Living history, check. Now for must-do number three, which sounds like a completely different world. The San Blas Islands or Guna Yala?
This one is arguably the most unique, maybe the most profound experience Panama offers. And that's because of its special status. Guna isn't just islands. It's an autonomous territory, a comarca. It's run entirely by the indigenous Guna people.
Autonomous. Wow. And what are the islands like? How many are there?
We're talking over 365 islands and tiny cays strung along the Caribbean coast. Picture that perfect postcard cliche. Blinding white sand, coconut palms leaning over turquoise water.
Sounds idyllic.
It is, and they're pristine, largely because the Guna have fiercely and successfully protected their territory from big resorts and mass tourism development.
That protection must mean it's not easy to get to. This sounds like real adventure travel.
Well, it absolutely is. Getting there is definitely part of the experience, and it filters out casual visitors. It's usually a minimum 2-hour, pretty bumpy 4x4 drive from the city on winding jungle roads.
Okay, rough drive.
Followed by a boat trip, maybe 30 minutes, maybe an hour, out into the Caribbean to reach whichever island you're staying on. It can be choppy, too. It takes commitment.
And the accommodation reflects that. No luxury resorts here.
Definitely not. The sources are very clear. Leave luxury expectations behind. Accommodation is deliberately basic. Simple cabins, maybe huts, run by Guna families.
So basic beds, shared bathrooms?
Probably. Often limited or no electricity after dark.
Yeah.
But that's presented as part of the appeal. It's a chance to genuinely disconnect, to focus on the nature, the culture.
Let's talk about that culture and the ethics. How does tourism work if the Guna control it so tightly? Is it sustainable?
They've managed to maintain remarkable political and economic autonomy. Tourism is one way they support that, but it's on their terms. Visitors pay specific Guna taxes and fees that go directly to the communities.
So choosing a Guna run tour directly helps them.
Exactly. It supports their self-sufficiency and their ongoing efforts to preserve their environment and culture against outside pressures. It's responsible tourism in action.
And culturally, what do you experience?
You get this rare glimpse into their traditional way of life, which is deeply connected to the sea. And crucially, you encounter the molas.
Ah, the textile art. They're famous, aren't they?
They are stunning. These incredibly vibrant, intricate textile panels made by the Guna women. Traditionally, they form the front and back of their blouses.
Describe them. What makes them so special?
It's this amazing reverse applique technique. Layers of different colored cloth are sewn together, then parts of the upper layers are carefully cut away and stitched down to reveal the colors underneath.
Wow, complex.
Incredibly. They create these complex geometric patterns or scenes from Guna myths, nature, daily life. They're just bursting with color and story, a powerful symbol of their identity. And buying them directly from the artisans is a great way to support them.
Okay, that is a powerful trio. The Canal Global Logistics, Casco Viejo's Living History, and San Blas's Indigenous Paradise. Panama really packs a diverse punch in a small area.
The variety is just astonishing, especially when you think how relatively short the travel time is between these completely different worlds.
Right. We've covered the sights, the scale. Time to talk taste. Let's shift to Section 3, the culinary canvas. What's the overall flavor of Panamanian food?
Well, given its location and history, it's this really satisfying blend. You've got Afro-Caribbean spices and techniques, Spanish colonial influences, and indigenous ingredients like root vegetables and corn. It's generally hearty, fresh, and full of flavor. Lots of seafood, obviously.
Okay, I need the essentials. If there's one dish that screams Panama, what is it?
Hands down, sancocho de gallina, that's the national dish. It's this incredibly comforting chicken soup, but it's more than just broth.
How so?
It's thick, almost stew-like, made with yummy that's a starchy root, kind of like taro, plus chunks of corn on the cob, lots of cilantro for freshness, and often a local pepper called ají chombo for flavor, though usually not intensely spicy. It's just restorative, soul food.
Sounds perfect after a long day. Okay, with two coasts, the seafood must be amazing. What's the go-to seafood dish?
Ceviche, absolutely. It's everywhere and incredibly fresh. The Panamanian style is often quite simple. White fish, maybe shrimp, quickly marinated in lots of lime juice with finely chopped onions, cilantro, and just a touch of hot pepper for a little kick.
Light and refreshing.
Totally. Perfect snack, especially down by the fish market or from little stalls.
What about the staple side dish? The thing you see with almost every meal.
That would have to be patacones. You'll see them everywhere. They're twice-fried green plantains.
Twice fried? How does that work?
You slice the green plantain, fry it once, then take it out, smash it flat into a disc, and then fry it again until it's golden and super crispy on the outside, but still soft inside.
Ah, okay. Crispy and soft.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're the go-to starch, served alongside everything: soups, stews, fish, meat.
And for a heartier main course, maybe something with that Spanish heritage.
You definitely need to try ropa vieja. The name's great. It means old clothes.
Old clothes. Wow.
Because the beef is slow-cooked until it's so tender it shreds easily, supposedly looking like old rags. But trust me, it tastes incredible. It's shredded beef simmered in this rich, savory tomato and onion sauce.
Classic comfort food then.
Absolutely. Usually served with fluffy white rice and some kind of beans. The meat just melts in your mouth. It's delicious.
Okay, comforting stews, fresh ceviche, crispy patacones. Sounds great. What about drinks? What do Panamanians drink?
Well, beyond the amazing fresh tropical fruit juices, you have to try passion fruit, maracuya, mango, soursop, guanabana. They're everywhere and fantastic.
Right.
But there's one really unique traditional drink you should look out for.
Shame.
Jashim. What on earth is that? The ingredients sounded interesting.
It's definitely unique. It's an old traditional drink made from fermented corn.
Fermented corn.
Yeah, mixed with milk, cinnamon, and vanilla. The key thing is the texture. It's thick, almost like a thin milkshake or a very smooth porridge.
And the taste. It's this fascinating blend, sweet from the milk and vanilla, spicy from the cinnamon, but with this slight, characteristic tang from the fermented corn. It's hard to describe, but really popular. Often sold chilled from roadside stands. It's very refreshing in its own way.
Huh. Thick, sweet, tangy corn drink. I'm intrigued. And being in the tropics, any local spirits of note?
Oh, yes. Panama makes excellent rum. Lots of local distilleries producing really good quality aged rums, great in cocktails or just for sipping.
And coffee. I've heard Panama has good coffee.
World-class coffee.
Yeah.
Especially the geisha variety grown in the high-altitude regions like Bouquet. It's actually some of the most expensive and sought-after specialty coffee globally. So yeah, definitely try the local coffee too.
Okay. Geography, the surprising city. The three must-dos: Canal, Casco, San Blas, and the food and drink. We've covered a lot. Time for the final verdict. Let's synthesize this Panama experience.
Right. When you boil Panama down, the key word is probably juxtaposition. You've got this hyper-modern, finance-driven capital right next to deep colonial history, which is itself just a stone's throw from incredibly preserved, raw nature, often under indigenous stewardship.
That contrast seems to be the defining feature.
It really is. It's an accessible country that offers this amazing spectrum, biodiversity, culture, history, modernity, all packed together.
So what were the absolute high points that pushed the final score up?
I think it's that blend of the intellectual and the visceral. Grasping the sheer scale of the canal, that's an intellectual thrill. Then you contrast that with the sensory experience of, say, waking up on a tiny sand Blas island, hearing only waves and birds. That's visceral.
And the people.
And the people, yeah. That genuine warmth and hospitality mentioned in the sources definitely adds to the positive experience, making it feel welcoming and relatively easy to navigate despite the contrasts.
Okay, the big question. On our worth it scale, 1 to 10, what score does Panama get?
Given the density of unique experiences, that welcoming culture, the accessibility of such diverse environments, Panama gets a very solid 8.5 out of 10.
8.5. That's high. What held it back from a 9 or 10? What were the deductions?
Well, you have to acknowledge the humidity. That intense tropical climate, especially in rainy season, can be draining. That's maybe half a point.
Okay.
And the other point comes off for the logistical hurdles for places like San Blas, that bumpy, long 4x4 ride, the boat trip. It's necessary to protect the place, but it is a barrier for some travelers and adds complexity. So a point for those access challenges.
Makes sense. But 8.5 is still a strong recommendation. Good for the adventurous type, history lovers, engineering fans, nature enthusiasts.
Absolutely. It's a place that constantly makes you recalibrate your expectations, which, is the mark of a really rewarding deep dive.
So as a final thought for our listeners connecting all this, where's the fundamental tension in a country built on these stark contrasts?
That's the big takeaway question Panama leaves you with, I think. It's this constant tension between development and preservation. You have a country whose modern identity and wealth are literally built on this massive engineering project, the Canal, that reshaped the landscape.
Right, the ultimate development project.
And its symbol is this gleaming, globalized capital city. That's one side.
And the other.
The other side is these fiercely protected, autonomous, non-commercialized natural areas, like Guna, stewarded by indigenous groups who prioritize cultural integrity and environmental balance above all else.
So the question is, how do those two coexist?
Exactly. How does a nation driven by a mega project mindset, by global finance, successfully manage and respect the values of the preservation mindset, particularly when it's embodied by distinct cultural groups like the Guna?
How does the engine of global trade live alongside ancient ways of life and protected nature? It's that constant balancing act.
It's a negotiation every nation faces in some way. But in Panama, it feels incredibly visible, incredibly present. You see it everywhere, from the giant locks of the canal to the tiny thatched huts of San Blas. It's right there.
A fascinating place to observe that balance. An 8.5 out of 10. Panama definitely stamped worth it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Until next time, keep digging deeper into the world around you.
We'll catch you on the next deep dive.